now that I'm a mom, I think a lot about like what it must have been like for Mary, and knowing that this was going to happen and this had to happen. But wow, that's intense. It's your child,
Yeah, I can only imagine what happened to the Virgin Mary, what she had to go through. And I can only imagine,
it's unbelievable.
I can only imagine the fact, the passion, what he had to go through. These are not things that you hear this is not things, of course, we've had intense plays like that in other areas where I lived in. For example, in Venezuela, we had the passions and everything, and we of course we didn't do it like Mel Gibson, but it was really intense. You had the person who had to really know the part of Jesus, the part that was Herod, the part that was the Virgin Mary, the part that was Pilate. This was not all easy.
Right.
And these are like trained actors and actresses in the church. I saw the same thing in Spain.
It should be done very well.
And I saw the same thing in Spain, and I saw the same thing in Miami. And then afterwards, we all had to march around the church, the community, with the actors and the actresses. No, I didn't carry the cross. They had someone else carry the cross when the actors carried the cross. While I was doing with the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, one of Pilate's soldiers had me put me in one of the wagons for the camera, and pushed me. I thought that was good. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but you had to really imagine all of that, and really imagine that in a historical context.
Oh yeah.
Because most of the people who criticized and crucified Jesus, hoping that they would save their skins or their careers, eventually lost their careers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard or read. I know you read, because we have read a lot about Jesus. We also read a lot about Polyphany, Baroque. From what I've read, after Jesus was crucified and he resurrected, that's the word. Excuse my word. After he rose from the dead, many careers, Pilate, within 3 or 4 years, according to historians, he was removed as governor of Israel.
Interesting.
For his handling of the case.
Wow.
And in his era, the high priest Caiaphas, he was not elected by the Jews. The high priest was chosen by the Romans, because you had Israel, you had the various kingdoms and puppets of Israel, and in addition to having the various kingdoms and puppets of Rome, which were in Israel, you had another part of Israel that was absorbed by the Romans.
Right.
In other words, a part of the Roman Empire. Pilate, from what I read, was removed maybe 2 or 3 years after what has happened.
Okay.
When he was removed, Caiaphas was removed.
Wow.
Then there was, if I'm not mistaken, Pilate was also stripped of all of his commands. In other words, he died a destitute Roman soldier in what is now France. And I'm not talking about the France of Eiffel Towers or anything. This is when France was Gaul.
It was like Gaul, yeah. Oh, how interesting. So it didn't really do him much good,
Herod and his wife. Not the one who killed the baby. The one who killed the baby died, and then his other sons took over. But those sons that took over from Herod the Great, the one that did the killings against the babies, those Herods eventually also were removed from power, as Rome was extending their domain towards Israel, and in extending their domain towards Israel, Herod, his wife, and others who were ruling Israel or different areas, they were eventually deposed by the Romans and sent to what is now Spain.
Wow.
And this is not the Spain of my ancestors. This was known as Hispania. And they suffered very greatly in exile.
Wow. Oh, isn't that interesting?
And then we know that what happened in Israel in the year 70. In the year 66,
Right.
a group of Jews, already knowing what was going to happen, they went and found refuge in a mountain area called Petra, which is now Jordan. That was after an attempted revolt. The last revolt in the year 70 resulted, from what I've been told and what I've read, in the Romans taking over all of Israel and dispersing the Jews amongst all the countries.
Wow.
And the Jews did not, and some Jews were not allowed to return until 100 years after the fact.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Huh.
So all of this of Jesus, why am I mentioning all of this? Because what happened in the Passion not only reinforces the fact that he died for our sins, but it also reinforces the fact that many people who participated in the death of Christ and in the subsequent persecutions of Christians, who thought that they were saving their own careers. I think it was Caiaphas who once said, "Why not one man die for the whole country, then the whole country die for one man?" No one saved themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it
then,
turned out to be for nothing for all them, you know?
and then the Pharisees continued until World War II. The Pharisees were eliminated as a class during World War II.
Oh,
From what they
interesting.
were, you had the Pharisees continuing, but the last one died during World War II, and I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Huh.
in Auschwitz.
Really? I didn't know that. I'll have to read more about that.
You might want to read about it. The part about the last
Yeah.
Pharisee dying in Auschwitz, this was told to me by a Jewish historian.
Oh, really? Huh. That's very
I don't know if he had the
interesting.
books for it, but I don't know if he had the books or the proof. I just simply got word of mouth from him. But the other part about the
Yeah.
fall of Jerusalem, the Herodians and Herod being deposed from their thrones and sent to Spain, and the Pilate and Caiaphas being sent to France, they didn't save their careers. In other words, this is a very big thing, and if they had thought that Christianity was suppressed, it grew.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even in today's
And
world,
even under persecution, it grew and grew and grew, you know?
and even in today's world, even in today's world where there's persecution, Christians are growing.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've noticed that, you know, in different countries, I'm friends with a few people in different countries that are very persecuted, and it's amazing how they have such strong faith, you know? Like, I'm friends with a priest in Pakistan, and he tells me how, you know, I think that it's like less than 1% of people in Pakistan are Christian. But he tells me that their faith is so strong, they're willing to die tomorrow. You know, it's just amazing. And I think that's what happens under persecution. You know what's really important. And, you know, I guess you're a little bit less attached to this world too. And you just kind of have your eyes on heaven, and you know that God's going to take care of you.
Yeah. What I'm saying in all of this is how the life of Christ not only affects us in that we became Christians and accepted his doctrine, but the fact that his life, the world had a before Christ and after Christ, and his birth and his death reverberated around the whole world.
Totally changed the whole world.
It changed the world as it is. And even those, as I said, many of those who did the persecution, the crucifixion, they paid a heavy price. I remember in the Easter play, when they had the group of actors screaming, "Out with him! We only have we have Caesar as our king. Let his blood rise among our generation and our future generations." And then Jesus said, "O women of Jerusalem, don't weep for me, weep for your future generations." He knew what was going to happen because he is God. He is God.
That's so true.
And we had all of this beautiful music, the Polyphany, Baroque. and the Gregorian Chants to prove and show everything. And of course, there are even some areas in some countries in the world, Puerto Rico, and also, if I'm not mistaken, Ecuador does celebrate it. Venezuela, not that much. They also celebrated the 40 days after the resurrection of Christ and the ascension of Christ into heaven, called the Via Lucis.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there has been some polyphony or Baroque music with regard to Via Lucis. Maybe in the next time we.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. I'm not familiar with it, but I'm sure there probably is. You know.
Next time.
I'm sure somewhere along the line wrote music for that.
If you do make an album, and I do bring you back, which will be most likely.
Yeah.
Because I love these conversations.
I'm working on it right now, so.
When you work on the album and finish it, and I bring you for a third interview, I might see if I could bring up the Via Lucis.
Yeah. I'll have to look that up and see what the.
Try to see if there's a Via Lucis and see if there's any Baroque or Polyphony chants. Maybe you could add them to your YouTube.
Yeah.
Before I leave.
And I love recording those. They're so much fun.
Yeah. Before I leave, is there anything that you have to offer this world, especially in this Easter season?
Well, I don't know. I guess I just, sometimes I kind of feel like, I'm only one person, what can I do? But I just figure I'll just keep doing what I can do. And I love the technology that we have available because I can reach people all over the world with music. And I just think that music touches people in a way that mere words can't. And so I just figure I just want to keep uplifting people through music and share my faith with them in whatever way I can. So I feel like I can't do much, but
you're doing.
Oh, and before I forget, Roberto, is today your birthday?
Yes, I turned 59.
Happy birthday!
Thanks.
I thought I remembered you telling me that. So happy birthday.
Yeah, I turned 59.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you had a great day.
I enjoyed every minute.
Good.
I first prayed, and in addition to praying, that I went around all Miami, enjoyed Miami with my wife, and then we finished.
Great.
We finished in the Good Shepherd Church praying as well. I go to all Christian churches. Mm-hmm. So I started the day praying, and then we finished the day praying. Then I started the interviews. And remember, you're doing a great job, and we're also doing a great job because we are evangelizing. We are spreading the word to all corners of the world.
That's right. And I just figure, with the technology that we have available, why not? And, even if you just reach one person and you make a difference in their life, it's worth it, right? So if everyone made a difference in one other person's life, the world would be a much better place.
And in addition to talking about these genres of music like the Polyphony, the Gregorian Chants, and the Baroque music of Christmas and Easter, I also wanted to bring in the significance that Christ is not just Christmas. Christ is for Christmas. Let us not get that wrong. Christ is for Christmas. But the story of Christ would not be complete without Easter and without the 40 days in which he is ascended into heaven, in which we bring up all of this history.
Absolutely.
And you're doing a great job. Right now in the computer, some of the people who I've filmed playing the part of Herod, and playing the part of Christ, and playing the part of Joseph, the ones in which we had the photography together and then go have a cup of coffee or whatever. They're already saying that they love what we're doing here in spreading the word.
Yeah.
They love it, and they love it, and we have to keep it up. I hope. No, I'm not going to say I hope, because I believe in Christ. I want to make a declaration. First declaration is that we're going to be out of this craziness, because this is the craziness that we're going through. I'm not denying. Let's get one thing straight for those who are hearing me. Yeah, because there were some people in the computer who were saying, "Oh, denier." No, I'm not denying anything. I'm not denying anything. I'm just looking at the one who's playing Herod. I'm not denying, I'm just simply saying that sometimes with this that is going on, we have forgotten Christ and we have to get back to Christ. I am declaring that we are going to go back to Christ. I'm also going to declare that when we get out of this, regardless of what happens, we are going to be having the Passion Play and the Christmas Play with much more meaning, much more significance.
Yes.
Who knows? I might go to Wyoming and I probably in Wyoming
Perfect.
we'll probably see one big Christmas play and one big Easter play.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be going and going and going, because we cannot forget the story of Christ.
Absolutely.
And this will be coming back much stronger than ever.
Yes.
That's all I'm
I
going to be
agree.
saying. Remember, in other countries, I know people from around the world. I've known the persecuted. I've also known the persecutors. I've also known persecutors who become Christians. I'm not going to talk
true.
about the countries, especially Asia. But I know, and many people
Yeah.
around the world, including South America, Central America, Africa, the Middle East. I right now in my computer. I'm recording this right now because I'm not doing this live. I'm recording this to be published in YouTube.
Right.
But I have in my laptop, people hearing me because I have the microphone on so that some people could hear me. I have people from Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, you can't have a church or even a synagogue in Saudi Arabia. Russia, Nepal, all hearing. Vietnam, they're hearing.
Yeah.
And they know.
It's amazing.
They know. And eventually, I'm going to declare that most of these countries will also convert. We will be seeing a lot of people going to Christ. And remember, Whitney, you are doing an excellent job. We cannot,
Thank you.
not just you, many other people. We cannot let
You too.
we cannot let down. Thank you. We cannot let down. I may be 59, but I still have a few more years to go. And I'm not
Oh,
blind.
absolutely.
I'm not blind. I'm just going to be going and going to spread the word.
Yeah. That sounds great.
I don't want to take too much of your time, Whitney. I know your husband and your children must be waiting for you. I do want to say that it was a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And when we have the album and when we have the anything concerning Via Lucis, go right ahead.
All right. Well,
My
thank
best
you so
wishes.
much for having me.
For me, it's a
I
pleasure
really
and an honor.
appreciate it.
And for
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again.
for me and for my public, for the people who are listening to me, I want to say this. May God bless all of you from this humble area of Kendall in Miami, Florida. I am not in any city. I'm in a very wooded area doing not 6 feet distance. I'm doing 20 feet distance because I'm isolated from everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to wish everybody around the world, especially Cody, Wyoming, and all over the world in Asia, South America, Central America, Africa, that may God bless all of you and keep you. And please practice peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. And I want to do a challenge. My challenge is based on what the singer-songwriter Laura Marie once said. She composed a song called Be Love. We should be love. We should be like the Lord. What would Jesus do? I challenge everybody during the Lent season to reflect on everything that is in the Bible and ask, what would Jesus do? and apply it to our behavior.
That's great.
Now, my best wishes. But Whitney, I'm gonna say goodbye to you later. I'm now finishing
Okay.
here. Until next time.